Can't you see? I'm preparing graves for those soon to meet their end.
Welcome back to the dark lore of Wuchang. In Worship's Rise, Wuchang encounters the grotesque effects of the feathering disease and catches a glimpse of how some individuals exploit it. By infusing themselves with red mercury, they gain unnatural power and prolong their lives. The tales of Cloudspire will dive even deeper into how this red mercury is used to fuel a twisted method of resurrection. Following the trail of Honglan after she retrieved the chisel from the Tang Emperor's palace, Wuchang reaches Cloudspire, a snow-covered mountain region now ruled by Madame Huang Jian'e. The city stands at a tense stalemate between two forces. Aimenchi's rebel army laying siege outside, and Liu Chen'en's imperial Ming force entrenched within, separated only by a single bridge. Cloudspire sits atop a massive red mercury line, a crucial ingredient in recent pursuits of immortality. The mine has long attracted buyers from both sides, from Zhenhu Temple to the main imperial court to the rebel army, bringing Madame Huang Jian'e immense wealth. However, with the rebels surrounding the city and the Ming forces occupying it, she's lost access to the mine. While the rebels want to eliminate the Ming forces inside, Huang Jian'e wants to resume mining operations. A secret deal was struck. Madame Huang Jian'e would betray the Ming forces by lowering the bridge, but only once the 3 beacon towers outside the city were lit, signaling the time to strike. The plan stalled.
General hasn't left his tent for days. Should I perhaps bring him some food?
You fool! Do you think you're worthy of seeing the general?
General Aimenchi, consumed by madness from feathering, disappeared for days. Meanwhile, anonymous letters were sent to both factions, revealing that Honglan had acquired a chisel and was heading to Cloudspire. These letters stirred distrust among all parties, each now seeking to capture Honglan and seize the chisel for themselves. Through one such secret letter, Aimenchi learned that Honglan was heading to Huang Jian'e's Snowfall Palace. When Wuchang confronts him, he rages, calling Huang Jian'e treacherous and ranting about using the chisel to resurrect his father, Zhang Xianzhao. At the same time, Huang Jian'e intercepts a blood-stained letter from Honglan to Liu Chen'en, confirming the chisel's recovery and her intention to negotiate with Huang Jian'e. Seeing an opportunity, Huang Jian'e plots to steal the chisel for herself. Using her insectomancy, she lays an ambush to capture Honglan. Long ago, Huang Jian'e had begun researching red mercury elixirs in pursuit of immortality. She conducted twisted experiments beneath her shaft, creating obedient monsters to serve her will. Through fragments of information related to the Bai family, Wuchang's lineage, she learned about the chisel. When Wuchang confronts her, Huang Jian'e reveals she is preparing for a grand event.
However, we are in the midst of much preparation. Certain places are off limits. I warn you to keep your distance. Keep in mind that I shall hound you to the very gates of hell if you disrupt my plans.
A wedding for her son, Huang Jian'e, a vile young man known for abusing his mother's influence to lure young women in search of the perfect bride. Huang Jian'e married into Snowfall Palace, and soon after, the former lord mysteriously died. She seized control and ruled with an iron grip.
Madame Huang ruled Shu with an iron fist in Snowfall Palace's prime. I suffered under her hand too, and never had dealings with her again.
As the months-long stalemate dragged on, she stripped Cloudspire's residents of all resources, reducing them to cannibalism. To satisfy her son's twisted desires, she summoned all young women from the region to Cloudspire, even sending her monsters to kidnap them. After battling through the elegant but deadly kicks of Madame Huang Jian'e, Wuchang finally ends her reign of terror. However, the chisel is still missing, until Wuchang hears an eerie giggle from beneath the shaft, a chilling hint that something ill-fated lies hidden below.
Sisters simply are. Sisters will stay. Sisters from birth. Sisters till grave.
A nursery rhyme with chilling meaning captures the suffering of the young women of Cloudspire, all victims of the vile madness of the young lord and the twisted doctor in the shaft. Along the way to Cloudspire, there are signs of strange experiments. Apothecaries were recruited, young women kidnapped, and a renowned tailor was hired, yet none who entered Snowfall Palace ever returned. Only one girl, Fang managed to escape. She is the daughter of a skilled apothecary who was killed while protecting her. Through her account, Wuchang learns of the shaft beneath Snowfall Palace, where countless young women were imprisoned. Fan Yao begged Wuchang to help rescue a sister who shared the same surname, Fang Ling, who had been chosen to become the bride-to-be.
Oh, now I remember. This van belongs to Fang Ling, Master Fang's daughter, doesn't it? Master Fang used to be a merchant at Cloudspire. We did some business together. We were well acquainted. I heard his daughter was taken as a bride by the Madam of Snowfall Palace, and she was never seen again. Oh, the Madam of Snowfall Palace is dangerous. I fear poor Fang Ling's fate was sealed the moment she stepped into those walls.
At first, we thought it was merely a massive prison for young women from which Huang Jian'e would select the one who most satisfied his tastes. But the truth was far more twisted. As Wuchang delves deeper into the shaft, more horrors are unveiled. Countless girls were imprisoned, fed blood laced with red mercury, and gradually became twisted by its effects. Their bodies were then mutilated, stitched, and assembled, until the mad doctor believed he had finally created the perfect bride.
Ling was already here when I arrived. She was always so strict, never letting me eat my fill. In time, our bodies wasted away. And then she told me that starving ourselves thin was our only chance of escape.
In a note found in Huang Yan's treasure room, it is stated that her son Huang Chan had consumed vast amounts of red mercury crystals and elixirs. A red jade wine bottle bears an eerie inscription. With a gentle heart, candles grieve the parting, weeping for others till break of dawn. These clues, along with Huang Yan's obsession with resurrection, strongly suggest that her son Huang Jian'e was already dead, and she had long been planning to bring him back. In traditional folk belief, a dead unmarried man is considered unfulfilled in the afterlife. And so, to satisfy her son's high standards and demands, even in death, Huang Yan sought to create a bride using only the perfect body parts of multiple girls, and to perform a ghost marriage, a real-world folk ritual in which one or both participants are deceased. The coffins, talismans, and ceremonial dead instrumentalists in the wedding hall confirm this was not a wedding for the living. The moment finally arrives when news of the chisel held by Honglan reaches Huang Yan. It's exactly what she had been waiting for.
Sisters will stay. Sisters from birth. Sisters till grave. Smithies they are. Scissors they'll make. A tool for us to help us escape. Here I must stay. Here I must wait. Here in the dark with this terrible snake.
The snake in the nursery rhyme is none other than Huang Jian'e, now infected with red mercury and transformed into a grotesque monster. Using the power of the chisel, he and Fang Ling were resurrected. The mark they bear confirms this, an oracle bone script for Shen, meaning birth or beginning. This mark is also found on others resurrected by the chisel. Another terrifying side effect of the feathering ascension method is the merging of bodies, as seen in the giant centipede. Now, it has created a chimera, a monster formed by merging Huang Jian'e with the perfect bride's body. The weapon used, bitter severance blades, was originally a pair of scissors, a wedding gift from Huang Yan to her son. Scissors, with two blades joined together, traditionally symbolize unity in marriage. But here, the blades have been split, turned into instruments of vengeance, a cruel twist of fate. Fang Yao and Fang Ling, two sisters who once only had each other, never gave up hope.
I'm not going back, Ling. Let's find a new home. What do you say?
But tragically, the beautiful future they dreamed of would never come.
张大铁，李大铁，大把戒指送姐姐，姐姐留我写，我不写，我在洞里写，洞里有根花花蛇，把我耳朵要半截，回见，爹也绝，妈也绝。觉我心里过不得，进舅公，舅公在屋头爬野葱，请爹爹，爹爹在屋头烧渣渣。
Before reaching Cloudspire, Wuchang arrives at a place known as the Tang Emperor's Palace. At first glance, it appears unremarkable, but it harbors ancient secrets that foreshadow major events to come. Among them, a tale of tragic, separated love that blossoms into obsession. An obsession so deep it defies the laws of nature and seeks to alter causality itself, all in a desperate attempt to resurrect the dead. On a turtle monument, Wuchang reads an inscription. In the 3rd year of Chongzhen, the Ming Emperor deepened his quest for immortality. This may lead players to think the palace was built during the Ming dynasty. However, in the Chinese version, the inscription is clearer. In the 3rd year of Chongzhen, the site where Emperor Mingguang sought immortality was expanded and renovated. Mingguang here doesn't refer to a Ming emperor, but rather Tang Mingguang, another name for Emperor Xuanzang of Tang, who lived nearly 1,000 years earlier. So why is a Tang palace hidden deep within the Shu region, far from the Tang capital of Chang'an? Historically, during the An Lushan rebellion in 756, Emperor Xuanzang fled Chang'an and sought refuge in the Shu region. With him was consort Yang Gifei, one of the most renowned beauties in Chinese history, and the woman the emperor deeply loved. But during the journey, imperial guards accused consort Yang of having ties to the rebellion and demanded her execution. Despite his heartbreak, the emperor was forced to order her to a nearby Buddhist shrine, where she took her own life. Her body was hastily buried. After the rebellion ended, the emperor wanted to retrieve her remains and rebury her with honor. However, his officials warned that doing so could incite another mutiny. Secretly, he ordered eunuchs to rebury her properly. But what if her remains were buried right here, in Shu? During his time in Shu, the emperor discovered the ancient method of resurrection. It's possible that this palace was constructed for one purpose, to resurrect consort Yang Guifei. Evidence suggests this might be true. All enemies in the palace are female Tang palace maids. No male guards are present. This reflects the rules of a consort's residence, where no men, except the emperor, were allowed. These maids were infected with feathering, lingering in the palace for over 1,000 years. Their twisted appearances are likely the result of prolonged exposure to water contaminated with red mercury, which now fills the palace pond. There's a script about the Tang's maids. One insisted they should not drink from the pond, while the other could not withstand the thirst. Later, Wuchang found the two of them behind a hidden door created by some deity. One had died long ago, reading only a skeleton, while the other had been infected with red mercury from the pond and afflicted with feathering. Though it prolonged her life, she eventually perished at the hands of rebels, who themselves were also afflicted with feathering. The pond is overrun with red sea lilies, crystal-like plants that grow where red mercury seeps from underground. Historical scripts and fragments of Taoist teachings are found here, hinting at early experiments with resurrection and immortality. Most importantly, the chisel, a tool said to enable resurrection, was hidden beneath the pond, protected by a flooding mechanism ordered by Emperor Xuanzang while waiting for the method of resurrection to be perfected. As time passed, the Tang dynasty collapsed, yet the maids, mutated and bound to the palace, remained. In the Chongzhen era, monks were summoned again to subdue them, now seen as malevolent spirits. The Ming forces attempted to infiltrate the palace, but were overwhelmed by the empowered Tang maids. Failing to purify the place, they used a spiritual tortoise seal, a Taoist method to suppress lingering evil.
The Tang Emperor's palace. It was once a sanctuary of immortality and enlightenment. This is where the first cases of the feathering emerged. Most curious.
Xuan Yangzi, a former Taoist from Zhenwu Temple, knew of these maids. He had once pursued the Red Mercury path to immortality and was banished for it. This method was kept secret, known only to advanced disciples. He bears a deep grudge against the temple. Eventually, the rebel army discovered the palace. They pillaged it, ravaged the remaining maids, and left only death. In a sealed chamber, Wuchang finds a rebel soldier still lingering, having slaughtered the last of the Tang maids. Later, Commander Honglan of the Ming forces arrived. Her goal was not only to kill the rebels, but also to recover any remaining traces of resurrection methods, so that the Chongzhen Emperor might be brought back to life.
So it's lurking down there now, is it? Love's a strange beast, huh? Who can really understand a person's heart? Looks like you've hit rock bottom, friend.
While speaking of the chisel, an item said to bring back the dead, the Plain Warriors' cryptic words about it being hidden beneath the pond carry multiple meanings. This palace is filled with tales of love torn apart by life and death, by status, by fate itself. The love of the Tang Emperor for the lost Yang Guifei, the love of Wuchang for her deceased sister Baiyu, the unspoken bond between a palace maid and a Taoist severed by destiny, and the hidden love of Commander Honglan for consort Yuxia. Honglan and Yuxia were recruited into the imperial palace in the same year. One became a consort, the other an officer of the embroidered uniform guard. Yet in their belongings, traces of love remain, a simple brocade pouch embroidered with the character for summer. Inside, 2 strands of hair are tied together in an intricate knot, a symbol of love and the union of 2 souls. Yuxia's name means summer. Though now divided by status, they share the same goal, to resurrect the emperor. To fulfill Yuxia's long-held wish, Honglan braved countless dangers, risking her life to collect relics and red mercury. But deep down, she knew her feelings would never be returned. Love is a strange beast, an obsession that can overcome reason, pushing one to accept any price to bring back what's been lost, even if it means violating ethical principles or defying fate itself. But for those who meddle with causality, a cycle of suffering awaits. Just as the boatman often appears in quiet, forgotten places, sharing cryptic words about one's fate, as if he already knows what lies ahead.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. The wheel turns, always waiting for rebirth. Can't you see? I'm preparing graves for those soon to meet their end. There's no need to panic. This grave is not for you. Not yet.
Nengqi and Liu Chen'en. The 2 rival generals stood in a months-long stalemate, on the surface, locked in battle, but behind the front lines, a relentless race of espionage and betrayal unfolded. Both forces sought the same forbidden goal, the resurrection of their fallen leaders. Zhang Shanzhao, king of the rebel army, had been betrayed and killed. Zhu Yujian, the last emperor of the Ming, took his own life when another rebel faction under Li Zicheng seized the capital. Now, both the rebels and the imperial loyalists were headless, their grief fueling the chaos that swept across the Shu region, a place rumored to hold the secrets of resurrection. Each time a chisel, an item said to bring back the dead, surfaced, anonymous letters were sent to both factions, revealing the artifact's location. These mysterious messages pushed both sides into conflict, weaponizing mistrust. It was as if some unseen hand was orchestrating everything, ensuring that the factions would destroy one another, so that in the end someone else could collect all the chisels from the ruins. Among Zhang Shanzhuang's 4 adopted sons, a rift grew. One side, including Nengqi and Liu Chen'en, believed in resurrecting their father at any cost. After receiving letters pointing to Cloudspire and Zhenwu Temple as locations of the chisels, they split their forces to attack both. The other side, led by Li Dingguo and Sun Kewal, opposed this path. They believed Zhang Shanzong should be left to rest. During his reign, his army had committed massacres, rapes, and scorched earth campaigns, depopulating entire regions. They didn't want to follow that blood-soaked legacy anymore. One infamous symbol of Zhang's brutality was the 7-kill stele, inscribed with, "Heaven brings forth innumerable things to nurture man. Man has nothing good with which to recompense heaven. Kill 7 times." This line, and Zhang's history, cemented his name in infamy. Not all rebels wanted that legacy resurrected. Liu Chen'en, a loyal eunuch, offered a stark contrast. Based on the real historical eunuch Wang Jian'e. When the rebel army led by Li Zicheng attacked the Ming capital, Emperor Changzhen hanged himself, and Wang Jian'e also took his own life in loyalty to the emperor. Born into poverty, Liu entered the palace during the 28th year of Wan Li's reign, becoming a close personal servant to Zhu Youjian. When Zhu ascended as Emperor Changzhen, Liu rose in rank, eventually gaining his trust. But the imperial court was a battlefield of political factions. Fearing for Liu's safety, the emperor sent him away to Cloudspire as a military supervisor. While away, Liu remained faithful, abiding by the emperor's commands and longing to return. But when news reached him that the Ming capital had fallen and the emperor had taken his own life, grief overwhelmed him. Still, he endured. He built a spirit tablet offering incense to the late emperor day and night, mourning in solitude. As the Ming dynasty collapsed, Liu led border troops to suppress rebel forces. Amid rising chaos, news came from the imperial archives, a secret from Shu, a method to resurrect the dead. A new hope ignited within him. If he could find the treasure, the true dragon might return.
Liu Chen'en was appointed by the emperor to oversee Cloudspire a few years ago. It was obvious he was there to keep Snowfall Palace in check. With the Ming dynasty crumbling, he could have easily carved out his own kingdom. Instead, his loyalty binds him to chase the impossible. Resurrection. The fate of the dynasty. It's long since past.
When Wuchang confronts Liu Chen'en, he immediately recognizes Wuchang's fighting style, Jinyue martial arts. He comments that such talent should serve the emperor, not betray him.
Serve the throne, not betray.
Though Liu knows resurrection is no easy feat, he remains unshaken. Reviving the Ming dynasty, restoring the true dragon, is now his sacred mission. Even if it means diving into forbidden arts and facing annihilation, Liu Chen'en stands resolute, a loyalist to the very end. Outside Cloudspire City, Wuchang encounters Huang Jian'e once again, a female Taoist from the ancient Zhenwu Temple. Still recovering from a failed mission at Worship's Rise, she carries the burden of regret and guilt for the cowardice that led to the death of all her fellow disciples.
The glory of Zhenwu Temple blazed for centuries, and now I am its last disciple, alone, with nowhere left to turn. Might I burden you with one last request?
She pleads with Wuchang to help her sell the Zhenwu Tome, a once-secret research document on refining red mercury, known only to advanced disciples. The method she offers is highly sought after, and in these turbulent times, it's a deal any ambitious treasurer like Riwansan would find too good to ignore.
I assume it was that Taoist woman who sent you, no? Ha ha ha! Could nary pry it from her clammy hands. Yet now she sends it right to me. It's a damn shame. The state those rebels left Zhenwu Temple in.
On the streets of Cloudspire, Wuchang stumbles upon a ragtag group of children who call themselves the Great Yonder Gang. Each member carries a small token, a symbol of their shared dream to one day escape beyond the snow-capped mountains. Their imagined paradise lies in lands filled with small bridges, flowing rivers, and willows swaying in gentle breezes. Their leader is a spirited little girl named Shen Jing'en, who is actually the daughter of butler Shen Yaoping. To protect her from the madam's twisted search for young girls, the butler disguised her as a boy. But Jing'en's fire couldn't be tamed. She stole the wedding attire meant for the perfect bride, defying the madam's terrifying plans. Thanks to Wuchang's help in concealing their actions, both the gang and the butler escaped what could have been a horrific fate. Had Wuchang chosen to betray them, their story would have ended in tragedy. One gang member, a quiet boy named Matchstick, carries a painful secret.
Boss says the bridge has been lowered. Was that your doing? Or calling me impressed? I can finally go look for Granny. Granny's getting old, so Da sent her to that dark and smelly Mort Grotto, as per our traditions. It's atop the cliff at the mining tunnel. All the old folk are there. Da says they have plenty of meat, so I needn't worry. That's rubbish if you ask me. I'm sure Granny's starving. I've got to head back to the village for food and get it to her. Granny must be waiting for me at Mort Grotto.
His grandmother was sent to the Mort Grotto, the site of an ancient and cruel famine custom. In times of starvation, some families were forced to make impossible choices, selling their children or abandoning their elders in caves or mountaintops to die. When Wuchang finds her, she's already waiting for death inside a grave, surrounded by silence.
Find him. Please give him this bowl from me. Oh, he will know what it means.
She asks Wuchang to lie to Matchstick, tell him she's already passed. She doesn't want to burden the living any longer.
The longevity bowl I gave Granny for her birthday. Where'd you get that? And all because I didn't get there in time. Granny.
During the siege, as the rebels closed in, Madame Huang stripped the city's food stores, forcing the starving population into cannibalism. The last member, Glut, was once an eager apprentice to a renowned tailor, one later hired by Madame Huang to construct the body of the perfect bride. But his master never returned. If Wuchang encourages him to find his master, Glut will unknowingly walk into the butcher's lair. His master, now a mad doctor, has become a monster, resembling countless women's parts, the product of obsessive resurrection experiments. Telling Glut to return to the gang may be the only way to save him. In this world, chasing the past often leads to nightmares instead of answers. Thus ends this chapter of Wuchang's journey. She now holds the second chisel, inching ever closer to the forbidden dream of bringing her sister Baiyu back from the dead. Yet with each truth uncovered, the resurrection's price grows darker, a curse etched in blood and sorrow. Is she walking toward salvation, or straight into a tragedy that will eclipse them all? The answers lie ahead as Wuchang descends into the ancient heart of the Feathering in our next chapter.